So President Obama and the next president of America, Bernie Sanders, they met
What
had a
what?
they had a 1 hour chat in the Oval Office about the economy and foreign relations, things like that. Which I read that and I have to ask, is that an endorsement? Because he hasn't given Hillary that time.
Which is weird because at the same time he did somewhat endorse Hillary in a weird kind of backwards kind of way. He endorsed her, but he didn't endorse her. So, and he hasn't. Yes, again, he hasn't given that time to her as far as sitting down and meeting with her. So, is he playing it safe? Is he in? Is does he really want Bernie Sanders, but is really just going for whoever will maintain what he's already put in place?
But can he endorse anybody? I mean, with his approval ratings being as low as they are, isn't that just going to hurt whoever he endorses?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe he really hates Hillary and is like, you know what? I'm gonna endorse you so that you fail. You fail.
And then Sanders may have shot himself in the foot, as I don't remember the exact poll number, but I believe it was somewhere around 70% of Americans said that they will not vote for or elect an atheist into office. And Sanders said he's not affiliated with any organized religion. Didn't go so far as to say atheist, just saying that he's not affiliated.
Right. Which the thing about it is the momentum that you have in this country as far as the policies that Bernie Sanders would like to enact, I think that they'd be willing to overlook something like that. He's kind of what's the term? He's kind of become a juggernaut, especially in Iowa right now. His poll ratings in Iowa have been through the roof. New Hampshire as well. He's starting to gain momentum. I think he's surpassed Hillary in poll numbers. I don't think that this comment will necessarily hurt those numbers. I think that if anything, he's going to get boistered. He's going to get higher numbers. So, for example, take the issue of getting money out of politics. If you had a choice of voting for somebody who is affiliated with your particular religion or as somebody that's going to be working in your best interest as far as getting money out of politics or whatever you believe in, which one's going to take precedence? I believe that the fundamental crowd that is backing conservatives, it wouldn't necessarily fly. But I believe that of the liberal persuasion, the religious moderates that do exist within the Democratic Party would be willing to overlook that in order to get egalitarian type policies. There's a clear contrast between the fundamental Christian base that backs a conservative type candidate, that religion would be a central issue, such as the Liberty College, Jerry Falwell type crowd. But I believe that the more liberal-minded, moderate religious people that the Democratic Party does have would be willing to overlook the fact that they're not of the same religion or if he is of any religion, more so in favor of policies that they would like to have in place, like getting money out of politics and so forth. I think that that's more an important issue for liberal voters than religion. I think that they're more willing to overlook that.
I do agree. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. If you mentioned the poll numbers, which are actually still Clinton still has a lead nationally, according to the polls, and a pretty substantial lead. It's about 15 points. But Sanders is winning in Iowa and New Hampshire, and he's winning by zero point 0.2 points in Iowa, but he's winning by almost 14 points in New Hampshire. So
Now,
he's starting to pull away pretty substantially.
now let me interject real quick in looking at those national polls. Are you able to look at the margin of error? How big of a margin of error is it with those?
This is the composite of all of them, and it actually shows Sanders on the decline in all of them. But I can pull up the polls real quick.
Okay, because that's very important when you look at polls, is that you have a margin of error. So Hillary could be 15 points ahead, but then if you have a margin of error of plus or minus 5, she could then be 20% ahead, or 20 points ahead, or she could be 10 points ahead. There's those
Margin
tend to
of error
fluctuate.
is about 5 on all these. 5.5, 4.5, 5, 5.2, 4.9,
Right.
6, 5.1. Yeah. So
So she could be anywhere from 10 to 20 points ahead, which 10's a respectable number of a lead. 20 would be obviously more substantial. But I think that when it comes to Bernie Sanders, specifically with the him leading in New Hampshire and Iowa, he'd be able to close that gap pretty quickly.
And I think he's going to close the national gap pretty quickly as well.